guys that are in the church that believe in God, keep praying. Keep doing what you feel like God has for you.
Fucking losers.
God.
What?
Whoa. Whoa. Go spam his DMs, y'all. You tripping.
Shit. I'm playing.
I feel like God does everything. What's going on, guys? We're back here with the Open Opinion Podcast, and I'm Bill.
And I'm Damon.
So, man, I got one question for you.
What's that question?
Have you had any spiritual experiences?
Spiritual experiences, man. I think I've had some experiences that like make you question, did that actually happen? Is this just a coincidence or
Like what,
is something
man?
watching me?
I need to know.
Well, I'd say the one that's most recent that is kind of like, even though I'm not super into that stuff, it's like good shit. Or like we had a business partner that was kind of toxic for the group, and it kind of fell through out of nowhere, kind of chaotically, and so that happened, which somehow felt like kind of a weight off my shoulders. And then on my way home, the construction that added 10 minutes onto my drive home finally was finished. And I took like 10 minutes
I don't know
off,
what it is.
literally on the way home that day from work. And before I got home, I went to Kroger to get groceries. And there's always a line like all the way to the back for a self-checkout. And they added a whole new like 6 cashiers for self-checkout. I was like, what? So, I mean, it's like all these somewhat roadblocks were kind of like just taken away all at once in one day. And it's kind of like, it's just crazy that all that stuff falls, on, domino effects into
100%.
each other. And I mean, I've also had another one that's like kind of made me think that like I'm God, just because like I've had so many experiences where like I'd like think of something intrusive or like something that could happen, just like wondering, and then it happens, and it's like a 1 in a million chance.
Hey,
like that stuff is weird.
It's a sign, bro.
Like one time I was working at this warehouse, and as I was walking into the warehouse, I was like, I wonder what would happen if the power went out. Like, what would we do? And literally I clock in and then I turn around and the power goes out. And it was a sunny day. There was no buildings anywhere near us had the power out. It was only our building. And the power was out for probably like 10 hours, and they couldn't figure out why it was out or how to turn it back on.
100%.
Like they just couldn't figure it out, so they sent us all home.
Oh.
I was kind of freaked out a little bit by that.
Hey, it's clutch though.
Have you?
Me personally, I have. I've had too many to really go over, but
Yeah.
I do have one that I felt like was a big stab in the back when it first happened. And I think that was just me and my mindset being very immature at the time. But I was in a long relationship. I'm not gonna speak too much on that itself.
Yeah.
But when we separated, it kind of tore me up. It I won't say kind of, it did. Just because I got comfortable with my situation, what I was doing, and I will say I was very depressed, had a lot of anxiety. My thoughts were all over the place.
Yeah.
I very much felt lost, and once I separated from that and we got rid of the house and all that stuff, I was very much homeless. I had my parents. They were also going through some things, so it wasn't just like, oh, don't have a house anymore, I can go stay with my parents or whatever. It wasn't that easy. It was also during COVID too, and COVID jacked a lot of people.
I was homeless during COVID.
Hey, give me some. Give me some. Yes, sir.
that was a crazy experience too.
Bro, and it's one thing that a lot of people don't get to experience, but I'm glad that I got to. Because during my relationship, I kind of gave up my love for photography, And once we separated, I felt like that was God's sign to let me know that a camera in my hand was my life, was who I
Your
was.
passion.
It was it, bro.
Yeah.
And I grew up with a camera in my hand. My sister had her own YouTube channel called 2D TV. Shout out sis, whatever. But after that, I didn't really pick up a camera for a long time until about end of my middle school year, beginning of high school, and then I let it go because I thought it better me. I thought it would allow me to progress in life, and once I truly realized it did the total opposite, it was that moment me and her separated.
Yeah.
And once I got back on my own and I got back on my feet, I picked up the camera again, and I promise you, the moment I had my first shoot, I got booked with my guy Sammy Ali, which owns a gaming lounge here in Indiana called Level Up, and he gave me an opportunity of a lifetime, man. And I did a little promotion video for him, and that alone opened up so many doors for me, bro.
Yeah.
It got me from being homeless to be able to get my own place again and make sure everything was paid off. And it didn't only help me out financially and everything like that, but it helped my mental out, bro. Like I said, I felt lost.
Yeah.
Like I did not know where to head to, and having that experience and praying to God that he'd find a way for me.
Yeah.
It was that experience that I went through
Yeah.
that showed me that it's not all about what I can do. It's about what I believe in and how I go about that.
Yeah.
That experience alone, it changed my life, bro. And some people may not see it as that because they didn't get to experience every little bit of it.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that moment, bro, if it wasn't for those signs and for those specific things happening, I wouldn't be here with you, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I understand that. And like how you said, it's like hard for, like, some other people might not see it like that. Like I mean, I'm kind of a like skeptic in that direction, but, you know, I'm open to the possibility of, you know, God showing you the signs and leading you on the path you're meant to go on.
100%.
But there's also the opportunity or the possibility of, you know, coincidence and just personal experience, which is kind of like, it's hard to relate to a higher power, though sometimes it feels eerily, you know, mysterious that, you know, so much can happen at once or so much can lead you to such a different place.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I feel like in a lot of places where you've understood your lessons to be lessons from God, I've understood my lessons to be lessons from experience. Like there's
How
been
such?
like I've been in places like that where like I was in a long relationship and, you know, we were engaged and all this stuff, and every day was just, you know, us doing nothing, just sitting watching Netflix or Hulu and basically just doing nothing with our time. And I came to the realization that from that, I need to be doing something with my time. I need to be progressing and making the most of every second of opportunity that I have to make the best person I can possibly be. And from there, we took a break so that I could do more with my time. And while we were taking a break, it just like everything got so chaotic, and, you know, it showed me that she only really wanted to be with me to have a stable relationship partner, and also showed me that I can't be in a relationship right now. I need to be focusing on myself and doing the most with myself.
100%.
And I mean, from that, I understand that experience as, you know, something I learned from, you know, a place that I put myself into, a relationship I was in, and, you know, just a general experience. And though, you know, there's also multiple lessons that come from that, multiple lessons that come from major experiences like that. Like I fell into suicidal depression, and I'd spent many days and weeks just contemplating truly on whether or not I should, you know, give up on myself or, you know, not. And it was really hard choice. And I spent, you know, many hours just laying on my floor listening to music and thinking and thinking and thinking. And from that, I actually watched my moment was I watched like the Lil Peep movie. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
I watched that and I realized how similar we were and how I can't give up on the effect I would give to the rest of the world if I lived to my fullest potential.
100%.
And so from there, I saw my life as a sacrifice for the suffering that I'll inevitably feel and see, and dismiss my pain and my suffering for the effect my life will bring to the world.
100%. And I can really relate on that, bro. And truthfully, you gave me cold chills. If you can't see, like it hit home when you said that. Like I've been through that same experience, and I can't say mine was worse or better, but I went through a stage of those suicidal thoughts and suicidal actions. I kind of felt like I didn't deserve to be here.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I didn't really have the worth that was pretty much presented to me, that if you're not worth this, if you're not worth that, or if you don't have this to offer, if you don't have that to offer, why are you here? Kind of mentality. It just, it pushed me to think that everything that I went through pretty much was to tell me you're not shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that.
Yeah.
The things I feel like I went through were signs and experiences that I needed to go through in order to have the worth that I have now.
Yeah.
To know my worth, to know that I can bring whatever it is that I want to bring out onto the world.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you felt like what I took from that was pretty much you felt like it would be selfish of you to take away what you could give to the world just because of the pain you went through.
Yeah.
And to me, all that pain is temporary.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really like more so like what I felt like was on your side was kind of saying that the world doesn't deserve to have you because you're more of you're more drag than help.
100%.
Whereas like with mine, I knew that I could do great things. I knew that I could be great and that I had a lot to offer to the world from a very young age.
100%.
But it was really trying to decide if the pain of living was worth the life.
100%. I
And
get that.
I mean, that was a really hard decision, but you know, it came to the point where my pain is independent and my effect is infinite. You know, if I can create the greatest effect on, you know, every single person for the future of mankind, for the future of the world, that's much greater than, you know, any pain that I can ever feel.
100%. And like I said, pain is temporary. Yes, it comes and goes, and it's something that you can't just set aside. It's something you really have to take on head on.
Yeah.
And because of my belief, because of the relationship that I was given growing up, like I was raised in the church. I was raised with my uncle as the pastor. And if I'm being 100% honest, once I got older and I really started to understand what they were trying to get me to see, I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah.
It took for me to truly go through my own experiences and to truly see my own signs, to understand that there is a higher power. I understand you have your own beliefs.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like something that, which is kind of rare in the world. It's something that is on every person independently. Like it's very rare that any person has any characteristics that they weren't given, you know, throughout, you know, personal experience or people being taught it. I feel like how your position on higher power depends almost completely on, you know, your own opinion on it.
100%.
Like, I was also raised in the church, and we went to like multiple different churches, and like Catholic and all different types of divisions of Christianity. And I was always like skeptical. I don't know. I just always felt like this was people trying to get people together so people would pay attention to them, which is, kind of fucked up, but like that's how I understood it, because that's the only lessons I was getting from it,
Yeah,
and I mean, like, I never felt that I was trying to be guided. I always felt like I was trying to be entertained and intrigued into wanting more. And from there, I kind of just wanted to gain my own personal experience of it. But do you feel like someone has to have like a belief of higher power or like a belief system to do good with their life?
I don't think they have to, but I truly feel like they should. There's a lot that I have been able to gain from it that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to gain without it. I feel like it's, like I said, when I grew up in the church, man, I questioned it too. I did. And it wasn't for the reason that I didn't think there was a higher power. It was because of how it was being brought upon me. I felt like going to church, it wasn't to learn about who he was. It was to learn about what this can do.
Yeah. And like, my personal opinion on it is that it's like highly controversial, but I believe that churches are man-made, and life, you can't say what it's been made of.
Yeah, and
I can't say humans are man-made and that we are only, the organisms that we are made up by, and that we're just a mass that dies and nothing happens after. I can't say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can say confidently that humans decided to build that church to intrigue other humans into going to the church so that they could get funding to run the church.
And I was getting ready to get to that. I truly agree. I feel like it was the humans, it was us, it was man, it was women who created religion.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That's
a controversial one right there.
It wasn't God.
Yeah.
God didn't ask for religion.
Yeah.
God asked for a relationship. God asked for you to be close, for you to take what he has, put it upon yourself for the greater good.
Yeah.
I believe it was man that created religion, like you just said, or what I just got from what you just said, was for a profit.
Yeah.
It wasn't for, I mean, it may have, like, some people may have had pure intentions with it, but I feel like truly it was for this.
Yeah.
For cheese, for money.
You want to hear my theory that I made when I was like 14?
Please.
I wrote it all down. I had like this whole theory that, I mean, it's possible, but I just thought it up. I believe Jesus Christ was a real person, but I believe he is the most successful influencer of all time. I think he saw that there was change that needed to be made in the world, and that people were rotten in their souls, and that they needed something to guide them towards better or they wouldn't get better. And so he gave them a higher power to believe in and to tell them how they can get better, and to tell them what ways they should stop doing things and what things they should pick up.
100%.
And, if you, like, philosophers, for example, give these huge, almost religions on how you should live life.
Yeah.
But they're just people.
Yep.
But if God tells you how you should live life, you build an entire religion around it. You don't just, you aren't interested one day and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll just read this philosopher's book. Your whole culture is circulated around this religion, which tells you how to live.
Yeah.
And that's so much more powerful than just being like, imagine if that theory is correct, if Jesus Christ was just like, hey guys, we should stop doing this stuff. You know what? It's not good, and I don't like it. Instead of being like, I am God's son, and you will stop doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Or you will go to hell.
Facts. And to me, it's, when it comes to God, I feel like God isn't here or there to tell you what to do.
Yeah. And like I'm
Yeah.
not saying I know what it is.
No,
I'm completely open to any. It could be God. It
open
could be
opinion, bro.
aliens. We could be in the simulation. I don't know. I have no proof against any circumstance whatsoever.
And my thing is, I feel like God I feel like God tells you what to do, but he's not going to force that.
Yeah.
He is a man that wants to be let into your life and is not going to force himself into there. That's why I feel like my relationship with him is so much stronger that it is now than it was back when I was a kid. Because I feel like back then it was forced upon me in a wrong way. It was not forced upon me to, like I said, experience my own spiritual experiences. I guess like it.
I think having that belief system of having like, even if it's whether it's religion or whether it's Buddhism, which I wouldn't really consider religion because it's more so there's no God figures in Buddhism. It's only its complete goal is stability and peace within the mind, rather than peace with God. Or I'd consider even a belief system believing in yourself, like really anything that guides you onto a structure for life. Like my personal belief system is judging every decision and choice and venture and habit of my life towards living to my greatest potential. And I feel like, that's something that guides me in structure in a lot of ways because it's something that guides my choices and, it empowers me to do better, to do more things with my life. And I feel like that can also be brought onto with God, reading the Bible and going to church, but outside of church, keeping that in the back of your mind to act virtuously.
Yeah.
And people without that belief system are really just roaming endlessly without any clear direction
Up here, just overthinking their thoughts.
And whether that's within yourself, whether that's within, books, whether that's in religion, no matter where it is, you need to build some type of structure in your life so that you can make the most of your life.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I know, like, whenever I go through things and I feel like I can't get through it or I can't handle it or I don't know how to, I pray. What is your way of figuring it out? What is your way of getting through like a hardship?
I contemplate it.
Okay.
I don't really, like when when I was in my suicidal depression, I wouldn't say if I didn't have that structure in my life, I would probably just go out and do drugs or something and just try and distract myself from it. I think what you're getting on is how to feel relief from the hardship, maybe.
Yeah. You can say
I guess my relief is knowing that I have the choice to do better and to make the most of the situation. My relief is knowing that my greatest fear and my greatest hopes for life are separate and that there's a spectrum between. And no matter what the hardship is, there are multiple options to get around it. And I think 2 years from now, will I still be dwelling on the situation? And I have the choice to either, make it a permanent thing or make it something that I just skip over.
I like that. I like it.
So, whatever it is, whether it's religion, whether it's believing in yourself more, have some structure to your life and live with purpose.
And for those of you guys that are in the church that believe in God, keep praying. Keep doing what you feel like God has for you.
Fucking losers.
God.